Welcome to episode 70 of the Yalla Habibi podcast.
Wow, 70 episodes in.
We're only 30 from the big 100 or 100. Why do people say O over zero?
I don't know, and some people say noughts, don't they?
That's
one
weird.
naught.
One naught. People would freak out. If you said your phone number to someone and said naught, they'd freak out.
Well, so there are 2 zeros in my phone number. I'm obviously not going to say it, but I think I say the first 10, like a 07, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then the one later, I think I go...
How weird is that we say O? That's a letter.
It is a letter.
I've just never realised that.
I think it's an Americanism.
Oh, maybe it is.
I do. Yeah, because they'll like say 505, 7219. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it is an Americanism. Another wild thing that I had a realization of today is that all women of the world.
Oh, all right. Generalization.
Oh, there we go. This is going to get me in trouble, isn't it? No, I'm going to press all women in the world who choose to wear knickers or thongs, which I would argue is probably the majority.
Don't you really have alternatives?
We don't, yeah. Well, I'm sure there's different types of women's pants. I'm sure there are briefs and stuff. But my big realization is that the majority of women in this world live a life of their bottom touching the many different materials of their trousers, shorts, dresses. Whereas men, they always wear... I don't know any men who don't wear boxers. I mean, you know...
Or briefs.
The briefs, or briefs, you know, it's pretty... Most men wear them. Not into the whole jock straps.
Why from?
I'm really... If someone has them on in a change room, it freaks me out. I'm not joking. If there's a man who has them on, I'm just like... Especially when he's like my age. I'm like, dude, like, no, get a life. Fucking change them right now. So sorry if you wear them, but fucking change them. But men wear briefs and therefore their bottoms only ever touch their pants. So I was just blown away by that realization. And it all came from seeing the moon this morning.
Seeing the moon this morning. Yes, so Scott was looking at my bottom in my pants and I was like, oh, your bottom doesn't just touch your pants. It touches other things.
So women probably have dirtier bottoms.
I don't necessarily follow that logic because like it's just touching a different fabric, innit?
Yeah, I don't know. It'd knock me sick if I felt my bottom rubbing against denim jeans. That must feel
feels
awful.
Great. It feels great.
Denim.
Wearing denim, yeah.
Or like, you know, shorts. They're just... I mean, leggings I'm sure are nice and joggers, but outside of that...
That's nice. I don't know.
Oh.
There's something about a nice, good, tight-fitting pair of jeans that just feels great to wear.
I think tight. I think that'd be quite a difference, tight and loose fit. I feel like loose fitting could be a bit strange.
Yeah. Maybe so. Like, yeah, I think when skirts and stuff and dresses, that can feel, I suppose, a bit weird.
Yeah, because you must feel the updraft.
You do feel the updraft.
Whereas men wouldn't feel that if they chose to wear a skirt. They wouldn't feel nothing. So I just think I'm just blown away. I think women have such a different experience from their waist down.
That's correct.
And these are the kind of insights you can get from listening to 70 episodes of our podcast.
It took you 70 episodes to discover that, Scott.
I did. Well,
and 4 years into a relationship.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. But we are in Laos, as you know. I know we've talked about Laos a lot on the last few episodes, but there's just so much blooming going on here. Usually we don't, even when we're traveling, we like to talk about other things. You know, just because we're not just a travel podcast, but we talk about all sorts, but there's just so much...
relationships and philosophy.
Yeah, like relationships and philosophy, if you listen to the intro music. But there's just so much to say. And there's funny things that have happened, you know. There's still our life right now. That's what we do. We recount our strange and weird and wonderful experiences that we just have in our day-to-day life. You know, it's just like, it is just a couple sitting down, nattering about life and strange things and good things, bad things. So it's just like you're chatting in a cafe.
I'm just going to say something. I'm in Laos with you.
Oh, that's adorable.
Isn't it?
That's adorable, baby. And I am in Laos with you as well. We are in Laos.
We are in Laos.
We are in Laos. Please don't leave the episode. Oh my goodness. But swiftly moving on.
Taylor Swift. Sorry.
Taylor Swiftly. There's some big Taylor Swifty fans on this PODD.
And that's just two of my personalities.
And that's just two of your personalities. Yes, exactly. But we're now in the capital. I can never say it, Susie.
Vientiane.
Vientiane. I always just say Vietnam.
That's not accurate.
No, people are like, oh, cool, you're off to Vietnam next. I go, no, I'm not. I've just been there. I'm like, oh, God, I can't say the capital. I feel silly. And what's major interesting is it borders Thailand.
Yeah, we are literally, well, I've described it as both swimming distance and jumping distance from Thailand.
Yeah.
We're just literally on the other side of the river.
It's wild. Like, you can see the line on Google Maps, and there is some parts where, you could probably jump it. If you just jump further enough into the water, you'd probably go into Thailand.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they police that.
I don't know, I guess like when we were in Kotor, Montenegro, and we took the boat, and they're like, if you go about 5 minutes that way, you'll see the Croatian police.
Yes.
Or the other way, a couple of hours, you'd be in Italy.
You'd be in Italy, yeah.
So it's just funny, innit? Like, I always find it weird how they police the borders on water, because it's like, your water just splashed in my water.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Who's policing the marine life?
Well, yeah, exactly, the fish.
Innit? A Montenegrin fish going over to Croatia.
It sounds like it's a joke.
I know, right? Oh, an heck. Unless maybe they do. Maybe they police their own waters and they understand there's a border. And there's like a couple of sharks there, going up and down the border, keeping an eye on it.
Maybe so.
Maybe so.
Riding seahorses.
Riding seahorses, yeah. No, it's got to be believable, baby. It's got to be believable. But what was strange is we came here on a propeller plane.
We did. Which
we have been on before, but I haven't been on one. I've been on one only once, actually. So it was only the second one for me.
Is it the second one for me? I feel like I've been on, when I went to Thailand the first time with my mum, I'm sure the flight to Koh Samui was probably a prop plane. It was definitely like 2x2 on the, the configuration of the seating. And the other time was when I visited my best friend's auntie in California for spring break, and I flew to LA and then got a prop plane to San Diego. But that was tiny. That was one on each side.
That's basically a private jet then.
It probably, I don't know, it was, I was living the student finance life then. I was getting rolling.
Oh, you were rolling.
Yeah, I was rolling. Yeah, I don't care what the cost is. I want this private jet just for me.
Yeah, chartered for you. Wow.
No, but I mean, when I say prop plane, it had one propeller on the front of it.
One?
I'm pretty sure.
One?
I'm pretty sure it just had a propeller on the front of the plane.
Oh my God, I'm not getting in that.
It was like the size of a van.
Okay, yeah.
Maximum.
Blooming it. What? You could buy a ticket for one of them?
Yeah, well, I mean, I just booked in Albuquerque to San Diego. Was it in Carlsbad itself? So she was in Carlsbad, and so I can't remember if she picked me up from San Diego Airport or if it was actually Carlsbad. I feel like it might have even been Carlsbad, and that'll be why. But it was definitely Albuquerque, LA, Southern California.
Right, Jesus. Well, that's too small for me.
Yeah, it's great though. I loved it.
Yeah, they scare me a little bit, the propeller planes, because if the propeller stopped, well, I guess you could say it on a big plane, but I don't see it.
I think I'd prefer my chances on a small plane. I think it'd be easy to navigate and control on land.
Yeah, that's probably true, actually.
Yeah. I feel like I could soar. You know what I mean? If you're into it, I feel like it would be much... I don't know this.
You would expect it's lighter, it'd be easier to... Yeah, it'd probably be easier to control. Yeah, I would assume that as well. Well, if there's any pilots... Please let us know. But we've been doing all sorts in our last week. Whilst we are in Vientiane, we were in Luang Prabang for River Routes, and it is bloody brilliant. I went on a 3-day hike through the jungle, which is super cool. If you're into the outdoors, then I highly recommend it. It involved some of the most stunning nature I've ever seen. Unbelievable sights. Like, it's just waves of hills and mountains full of vegetation. So it's very green. Stargazing, slept on the peak, stargazed, woke up to sunrise. It was unreal. Lived with the local people for a couple of days, weaved bamboo. What would you call it? Like a water canister, like a bamboo to hold your water bottle, which was great. Went kayaking. Our guide was amazing because he showed me, along the way, there's just so many plants you can eat or use for medicinal purposes. So we were eating all sorts from, he was just jumping up and getting fruit, like a plume. It's like a big orange. It's called it starts with P, like a plumane or something.
Oh, pomelo.
Pomelo, thank you. It's just like a massive orange. The taste is a bit different though. Even green beans, we were just eating green beans off the plants. I cut myself, my leg, I just knocked it on a rock. He found a leaf and we stuck it and it stopped it bleeding. I've got some leaves in my bag for stomachache. It was really, really cool experience. Yeah, really cool experience. The only downside was there was 2 tourists. I mean, to be fair, everyone was quite nice in the group. Everyone was nice in our small group. But goodness, they didn't half moan. Like, I don't get it when, the itinerary was very clearly laid out to me and it was almost exactly what they described to me. But they were moaning it wasn't, and moaning that everything's too hard. And they were nice, like they were easy to get on with outside of the moaning. They weren't difficult people. But any hiking that was either going up or rocky terrain, for that duration, all that would come out of their mouths is moaning.
I feel like that would have been me if I was there.
Yeah, that's why we didn't. Wait a minute. That's why we asundered.
Oh.
That's why we asundered. Or another word is, we needed some severance between us.
So Scott's been looking up synonyms for separation because we don't like to describe it as a separation when we're apart.
No, it's a triggering word in a relationship. So I looked up for old ye English synonyms of the word.
Funny. But no, that's right. So I think a lot of people find this strange, but I find it strange that people find it strange that we, believe it or not, are individual people with individual interests. And while the fact, like 95% of the time, we want to do exactly the same thing and we love doing that thing together, and equally we like taking part in the other's interests, there are times that we will severance.
Well, severance,
Yeah.
well done.
For a period of time to go and pursue interests that the other one either can't or doesn't particularly want to do at that time. So Scott had signed up for this 3-day hike. I was unable to go on that, and also kind of probably wouldn't have wanted to. I think it would have been too physically demanding for me. I'm not unfit, but I'm not like fit. And I do like hiking and I do like those experiences, but I think a 3-day hike would have been...
It wasn't easy. Like, I think you would have loved the one day. I think you would have liked that. It was still a challenge, but I mean, not for me.
Obviously.
But
Mr. Bear Grylls.
Mr. Bear Grylls. But I think you would enjoy the first one. But yeah, multi-day hiking, it's not for everyone. A lot of people like hiking, and that I find when people say they like hiking, there's 2 types of people. Oh, there's probably 3 actually. There's the ones that like hiking, and that's the majority, which is they like to go for a 4 to 5 hour flat, a little bit of elevation, but not much hike. Lots of nice nature, river, mountains. They want to see it, but they don't want to go up it. That's the majority. The middle one is they like big hard hikes, but only for a day or 2. And then the other nutters I want to hike for a week. I'm getting towards that. I'm sort of in the middle, but I'm more between the final 2 now. So yeah. So the first day, brilliant. And I think that's what those girls would have preferred.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they still moaned the whole way up that first day. Still moaned. But still, I think they would have been happy with that experience because it wasn't for too long. It was about an hour and a half, 2 hours going out. But then the following day was the hardest. It was quite technical. If you're doing jungle hiking, it's awesome. But if you've not hiked before, I'm not saying you can't do it. You absolutely can, but just be prepared. It's going to be much more technical than you think, and it's going to be a bit intimidating at times because they're going to say, "Hey, we just go down there," and you're going to look down there and be like, "Where do you mean? There's no path. No, that river. You see that running water in that river? That's going downhill." And there's all that slippy rock, and you see that, massive centipede there, that's where we walk in. So again, it's not unachievable. You don't have to be a blooming Bear Grylls. You really don't. It is trodden. They'll take you down trodden paths, but there will be moments of like, what the fuck? Unless if you hike a lot, then you just you're used to it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like it was a very, very good experience for you. And I think I could get to a point where I'd enjoy doing that. I think I just need to improve my fitness a little bit more before doing that. But so I wasn't able to join it for work reasons, but also I wouldn't have joined. And I instead on the Monday decided to go to an elephant sanctuary, which was lovely. But that's just an example of us as a couple, like you've experienced elephants before, so you didn't want to put in sort of the time and investment into that.
Yes, yeah.
Whereas I think like some couples would have been like, well, I want to do it, so we're doing it, like, or would hold resentment and say, well, we can't do it then because you don't want to do it.
Exactly.
And that's just wild to me, like that anyone would be that way in a relationship, that if it's all or nothing, it's we either do it my way or we don't do it, or, we don't get to do what I want to do, so you're not doing what you want to do. That's just wild that anyone would operate in that manner. So yeah, it's very normal for us, believe it or not, to do things together and independently.
Yeah, and we highly recommend it. It's worked very positively for our relationship.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think once you get once you both know you love each other, then there's nothing to prove, You can go out and enjoy things. You can, you can go on holiday with your friends. You can go do whatever. You can go watch that film that maybe your partner doesn't want to watch because it's too scary. It's okay. It's okay. It doesn't mean that you don't love them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, if it is something that's like super important, then, like if I said to you, this experience that I want to have, and it's really like, it's something that I've always wanted to do with my life partner, that it's, even if you didn't have particular interest in it, like, I know that you'd be there for me for it. And like, likewise, if you're like, this hike I've dreamt of doing my whole life, and it's such a special thing to me, and I'd really want you to be there, that I'd be there.
I do. I absolutely do. Yeah. Those moments, yeah. If it's really meaningful, absolutely, I'd be there, yeah.
Yeah.
And likewise, yeah.
Oh,
no,
cute.
we are
I was
cute.
thinking in that way.
We're cute. We are cute. But how was your elephant experience? Because you told me you bought something quite strange.
Yeah, so elephants eat a lot. Like, understandably, they weigh like 4 tons, and they eat, I can't remember, it's just hundreds of kilograms of food a day. And they poo a lot of kilograms a day. And what's really funny is because they eat a lot of pumpkin. It's like you just see these big piles of poo with like pumpkin sprouts coming out.
Oh my goodness.
Because it's such a fertile, substance. But yeah, so it was called Mandalao in Luang Prabang, and it's amazing. I think it was the first elephant experience that didn't allow elephant rides. They're very, very against any sort of cruelty towards the animals. There's no like chains, there's no whips or anything, there's no like negative things happening to the elephants. And they've got, it's something crazy, like 250 hectares of land. Yeah, it's really limited to small groups that see them. You're not allowed to touch them. They're very much given independence.
And they're rescued, right?
They're rescued, yeah, from other companies that have forced them into rides and, all other things. Yeah, it was really incredible experience. We got to learn all about the history of elephants in Laos. In fact, Laos used to have a different name. I don't remember it, but it was a longer name for the country, and it meant land of 1 million elephants, because there were 1 million elephants in the country, but now there are only 800. And that it is partly, in a large part, due to the tourism industry and how the elephants have been treated. Because for the female elephants, their ovaries are actually up near their spine on their back. And so when they're putting the platforms onto the elephants for people to sit on, they weigh something like 60 kilograms. And then you've got two humans plus, two Tories, plus the handler sat on it. You're talking, 150 kilograms minimum extra. On top of the like 200 kilograms you're looking at on this elephant's back, right on their reproductive organs.
Wow.
So a lot of the rescued female elephants are actually infertile. So, and they do, at Mandalay, they actually have a male baby. All the rest are female adults. But he's 4 years old. And so they're hoping that it'll be able to help repopulate, because they're very much about rewilding as well. So, and if they can, then they will introduce the elephants back into the wild. But a lot of them, because they've been born and raised in it, it's a difficult thing to do because they're so used to humans and whatnot. But yeah, the guide, he was called Kim. He was great. He told me a really sad story that he, from a very young age, had to like step up and be the man of the house because his dad, when he was 42, died because of drink driving himself. So he, at age 14, had to go and get a job, and the job that he got was in one of these places where they ride elephants. But he said, as a Buddhist, it really, it didn't sit with him ethically, but, it's the job that he got and he had to provide for his family, and, he really hated that aspect of it. And he had a really special relationship with this one particular elephant. Like, each handler had one particular elephant that they worked with. And he said he called her Sexy Lady. That was Sexy Lady, the elephant. And he had a really close bond with her. And he said when Mandalay opened, he got a job instantly. He was like, finally an ethical company where I love these elephants. I don't want to be part of their misery. And on his last day, he said he went up and he was giving her bananas, which was a favourite snack, and she wouldn't take it from him. And he said when he was hugging her, he felt like a tear. Like she was crying, he was crying. And it was really sad for him to leave her because he knew that although he was going to be going and working with elephants in a better environment, he knew that she was going to be stuck there. And he told that story, like as part of his story when he, takes tour groups out with Mandalay, the good company. And an American tourist actually went to that original place and bought Sexy Lady for Mandalay.
Oh my goodness.
So she rescued, I don't know how much.
Wow. Do they have some sort of relationship, some friendship, or they just...
No, she was just really touched by his story.
Oh my God. They bought him the elephant?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's unreal.
Isn't it?
That must have been one rich American.
Yeah, I guess so.
That would have been serious an elephant.
Yeah.
Holy... Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
Wow.
So that was a really nice story there. And, it was an unbelievable experience to get to hike with the elephants through the jungle in a natural habitat, see them just like eating from the trees when they felt like it. And it was beautiful. It was a really beautiful experience. And they were really transparent, and they were like, any questions you've got, ask us, please. We want people to ask us questions. We want to know, like, and they've also now, because I think they were the first to not do elephant rides, other companies have realised that's what tourists want. And so it's having a bit of a knock-on effect that there are now other companies that also don't allow rides. Right.
Yeah, because if you look at the Google My Business of any elephant experience in any country, and there are a lot in Asia, for the ones where you can ride them, or they do use tactics to punish them and train them in ways. I mean, it's no more than 2 stars, because if you look to the reviews, the vegan Voyagers have come and they've attacked it. And I understand why, it is cruelty. So yeah, hopefully that is a good step forward for Laos.
Yeah, definitely. But because they poo so much, they also have a gift shop with items that are made from elephant poo, and I've got a poster made from elephant poo. It's great. It doesn't... I'll have to show you it. It just looks like paper. You wouldn't know that.
I don't know why. I find that really weird that you've bought a poster made of poo.
You've had coffee made of poo.
Yeah, but that's fine.
Why is that? But you consumed it.
No.
You consumed something that has passed through an animal's digestive tract.
Yeah, but other people do it.
Yeah, but other people bought the books.
No, this is lemur poo. So this is it's called lululat.
Luwak.
Very popular in Indonesia, but also popular in other places. It's where
You can get it here as well, I think.
they feed beans in the wild and then they poo them out and then they collect them and then they make coffee of it, and it's actually quite nice.
But
Obviously it doesn't taste a bit. It's actually quite sweet. But wow. And another thing you did miss is you didn't stay in the Airbnb accommodation, did you?
I didn't. So because Scott was... My elephant experience was just like a one-day thing, but Scott was away for 2 nights, and I was like, I am not staying in this Airbnb on my own, because it is like a haunted house. We mentioned it. I think we've mentioned it in like every episode since we've been here. How bad that Airbnb was. It had so much potential, but there was like one tiny battery generator that was operating the entire house, and it was just constantly flashing. It was dark, it was damp, it was dingy. Like, you couldn't turn on the shower without all the lights going off in the house. It was like something like, you could imagine The Grudge being set there or something.
Oh, that's terrifying.
And I was like, there is 0 chance in hell I'm sleeping in this property on my own. So I booked myself into a nice resort for a couple of nights.
You did. For me, I didn't find it haunting, but I will accept it does look haunting because it has this like blood red wood all around it. So it's and it is in the middle of a jungle and it's dark to get there, etc. So,
and it's dark inside and it's full of creepy crawlers.
And it is, it had a blooming monitor lizard in. I woke up one morning and I went to the other bathroom to be quiet, and I opened it and there was a lizard in there the size of my forearm. It was massive. It was absolutely, and it just ran at me and I just went freaked out, and then Shelby woke up and then she couldn't find it. But maybe it was a ghost lizard.
Maybe it was a ghost lizard. There you go.
Ghost lizard. But just something on that is that we do have a haunted episode coming up.
We do. I'm very excited about that because
next episodes will be a Halloween special, and you would have heard us already talk about it on an older episode about some haunting experiences, real poltergeist experiences that we have had. I touched on mine in an episode or 2 ago, but we're actually going to share them in detail. So real experiences that we both just experienced throughout our life. And some of them are pretty dark and feel very real. So we'll share that, and we've got some pretty interesting horror segments as well, which one of them, if you don't know about this manor house, it's wild. It's totally real. It's happened in our lifetime. It's technically still happening. Well, actually, it is still happening. It's not technical. It is still happening. I found out that today. I thought it had stopped. It's legal, but it's also very messed up.
You'll have to tune into the next episode to learn about that.
You will. But before we do move on to the final segment, just a side note, something we have noticed in Laos is that if you will explain, you'd be much better about the different haggling methods in the markets of the bags.
I've recently learned that when you go to the markets in places like Laos, Vietnam, just Southeast Asia generally, I believe, the market traders have a particular system that signals to other market traders what kind of barter you are. So if you go up to a store and they say, it's 50k, and you just accept it, and you go, okay, great, thank you, and give them the money, then they will give you a green bag. That indicates to the other market traders they're an easy sell. They're not going to bother haggling you. I.e., so you can bump up your price a bit and get a bit more. However, if you are really stingy and you're like, oh, I'd do it for 10k, and you really try and get them down, and you're backwards and forwards, then they'll give you a red bag saying, don't bother haggling with these people because they'll keep going, or, they're going to try and get a good deal out of you. So that'd be a red bag. And then, like, any other colour, usually like a yellow or a pink, would be somewhere in the middle. So there's, a system where they can tell each other how good of a haggler you are. Quite interesting.
There is. And can you guess what bags we got each? To give you insight, Shelby got all the green bags and I got all the red bags. I'm the hard haggler, Shelby's the pushover.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Shelby's just more ethical and kind. That's probably more likely.
I just wouldn't if I felt like it was a fair price for whatever it was, I didn't bother haggling. Like if I was happy, like I got a lantern thing that was like...
That lantern's lovely.
It is. And that was like 50k, so it was like £1.20. So like, well...
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I'm happy
really
with that.
reasonable. But we could carry on about Lao, but we're going to move on to the segments. Scott's WTF of the week. Every week the world gets a little weirder. Let's talk about the strangest thing that went down this week. So this actually did not happen this week, and I am going to get it back on track to things that happened more recently. But I found this out through you, and I was just so... I'll be honest, I laughed initially. It's not totally funny, but it kind of makes you snigger a little bit. But it's just so funny and so strange that I just thought it's just a great story that we need to share. So in the early 1900s, so in 1908 in Paris, a Newfoundland dog actually became a local hero for repeatedly saving children from the river Seine. So we repeatedly save children from the river because, children fall in. It'd be quite dangerous. I mean, people even drown in canals, let alone a river. Like the Mekong River here is quite powerful. I could see that being quite dangerous. So that was good until people realized the dog was also pushing the kids in. So it sounded good until this. So he was saving the kids and now he's pushing them in. Now, why is this? So he lived on the riverbank of Paris, and he was quite a clever dog. What happened is there was a good story that started this. There was a brave story where he genuinely did save a kid. A kid fell in and he jumped in and saved the kid. Now, what happened is then the owner gave him a steak, to reward him. So amazing work. You did amazing. Well done. And he got the steak. However, as you know, with a lot of animals, that then can create a habit. You would expect that to be a good habit, look out for children in danger. But this dog was 2 levels above that in intelligence because he knew that it didn't happen every day. So what he basically started doing is pushing kids in, like nuzzling them by the nose, pushing them in, and then rescue them. So then he could get another steak, which I'm sorry, but it's hard not to laugh at that.
It's very entrepreneurial of the dog.
It is.
That's so funny.
So, yeah, and obviously the locals became very suspicious and they finally realized it. So we just became aware of it because the New York Times put it in a recent news article. It was just a very old news article that just sort of resurfaced recently because I guess it's just a bit of a funny and odd story. But so I think this, whilst you might say it's not a nice dog, but I think it was just probably quite an intelligent dog to go, as most dogs will go, okay, if I save people, I get a steak. But this dog went, well, people don't fall in often, so if I just push people and then save them, then I get it anyway. I think that's a higher level of intelligence.
That dog has been reincarnated as a pharmacist today. Not a pharmacist, sorry, like a pharmaceutical company today.
Explain. Explain.
Sorry, that sounded really random. But don't you feel like, I don't know, maybe this is a bit of a conspiracy theory, but like, is it the FDA in America?
Yes.
They profit off people being sick, don't they? So they won't actually want to cure you. They'll give you a pill for it. That pill give you a different side effect that then you'll need another pill for, or like...
Oh, I understand where you're going with it. Well, every pill has a side effect.
Yeah.
Usually if you open the leaflet, it details hundreds of side effects.
Yeah. Like a conspiracy theorist might say that, like, the food companies put stuff in the food that make you sick, so then you get diabetes, and then you need diabetes pills.
Right, okay, yeah.
That took a very dark turn.
Yeah, a dark turn, and I love how you just assumed I would understand that level of... There's a lot of levels to that. Yeah.
That's about 3 hours deep on TikTok, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where basically the dog is like, well, yeah, I'm helping them, but I also need to make sure that they're in danger before I help them.
Yes, yeah.
So that I profit from that.
Exactly. And he did for a long time. He did for a very long time. So, yeah, a strange one.
Yes. Well, I guess it's time now for Shelby's Good Vibes Only. Let's take a break from the chaos. Here's something to make you smile this week. Shelby's Good Vibes Only. I know this is lots of animal news, but I think it's a really great story linked to my elephant experience this week, that an illness that's really affected elephants for a long time, they've finally developed the first ever vaccine for that. It's a type of herpes virus, so elephant endotheliotropic herpes virus,
Wow.
EEHV. And it's actually the leading cause of death for young elephants worldwide. So
Oh my goodness.
it's a really serious disease, illness. I don't know what you'd call it, a virus, but it's killed both wild and captive calves, including at Chester Zoo. But in
Chester Zoo.
yeah, so it's a UK
yeah.
research team from the University of Surrey, Chester Zoo, and the UK Animal and Plant Health Agency. And it's a 2-dose vaccine, so they initially give like a harmless, do they call it like a dead version of the
Yeah,
virus?
they do it with, like, rabies jabs, don't they?
Yeah, so inactive, I think maybe that's the
Yeah,
they
like
give you an inactive version of the virus, and then a booster, and yeah, so it's showed really positive effectiveness.
Effectiveness, I would say.
Yeah.
Efficacy, I think, is the value of it. The efficacy or the sustainability of it. I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like I've used that word a lot in essays in the past to sound smart, and I don't remember what it means.
There we go.
But yeah, the effectiveness of it is good. So yes, well done to those researchers for helping the little baby elephants in particular. So yeah, I mean, that's wild because like the herpes virus is super common in humans and not particularly harmful. But it sounds like within elephants, it's really dangerous.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's the strange and one weird side of the world, isn't it? Something that can be not dangerous to us can be very dangerous to animals or an elephant. And so can be the opposite as well. Can have no impact on an elephant, but can be detrimental on a human. It's
yeah, like koalas having chlamydia.
Yeah, exactly. Well, exactly. It's a real issue, though. The word efficacy is the ability to produce a desired or intended result. In simpler terms, it's how effective something is at doing what it's supposed to do.
So the vaccine's efficacy, I feel like that was the correct word to use.
There you go. Well done,
Thank
Susie.
You.
But
they don't call me Susie Dent for no reason.
No, they don't. I shouldn't have challenged you. I apologize. But that's awesome that they've, that's probably something, obviously people have heard of herpes, but I didn't know that was one of the biggest killers of young elephants. That shocks me. Yeah,
it's really shocking. And because there are a lot of similarities between humans and elephants as well. Like we have a similar, but actually we don't have a similar gestation period. They grow their babies in the womb for about 2 years.
Wow, that's long.
Isn't it? But I suppose they are quite big to grow. Gonna be like a baby elephant's bigger than a grown human, but they have a similar life expectancy to humans. I feel like there's a lot of overlap between humans and elephants, but I guess herpes is super dangerous to them. Yeah.
So that's great that we've gone and got a cure for it. It seems like we're close to getting pretty much a cure to that. So that's great.
Amazing.
That's great. More elephants in the wild. It is now time for the Vegan Voyagers segment. We're now going to give you the full breakdown of the vegan efficacy of Laos.
Yes, we are.
So this is our segment where we'll tell you how vegan friendly of the country we've just visited. And it's 1 to 5, 1 being rubbish and 5 being great. So how easy would you say it's to find vegan options, my darling?
So I personally kind of struggled a little bit with a number for this because there's never been a day where I've been unable to find a vegan meal or, something that, like any restaurant we've been in, we've been able to get options. However, supermarket-wise, it hasn't been as easy. Like we couldn't get tofu in the supermarket, and that's basically, I would say, my only reason for not giving it 5 out of 5. So I kind of went with 4 out of 5. Would you'd agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think there's other reasons why it's a 4, though. It wasn't initially that easy to find. So from a restaurant point of view, whilst there's not nearly as many vegan specific restaurants as like a Vietnam or other countries. Naturally, the diet here is easy to make vegan,
Yeah.
and that's true for a lot of Asia. So that's always in Asia's favor, is it's easy to just take fish sauce out and take chicken out, and just it's always going to have vegetables. One, there wasn't a lot of vegan specific restaurants.
I don't think we even went to one.
No, I don't think we did. It was all, a couple of veggies. And two, the supermarkets were a bit of a nightmare. They're really strange in Luang Prabang. It might be different now we're in the capital, but they're really strange because there's a lot of them. So you'd think, great, there's a lot of supermarkets, but it's so bizarre what they sell. The majority of them, the first 4 aisles are noodles in packets, sweets, chocolate, rice, maybe a couple of sauces, and that's kind of it. Like there's not bread, there's not pasta, there's no microwavable goods, there's no vegetables or fruits in any supermarket. And then after 4 aisles, the rest of the supermarket, which is big, is just like stuff for your house or clothes and stuff. So the majority of supermarkets don't give you actual food you can eat on a weekly basis. There's only one that we found, which is DT, that was worth going into.
Yeah.
And then that was by far the best one, but even that lacked a lot of stuff. It lacked bread for vegans, It lacked no tofu. It was really hard to get protein. So we ended up having to get nuts from like the markets because, a big bag of cashews was way cheaper than the supermarket. We ended up getting beans, and we found out that the tofu, to acquire tofu, the best bet was to go to the vegetable markets where you'd get your vegetables. You had to go to specific markets early in the morning. They will sell it, but I never saw it. And when I spoke to an owner of a vegetarian restaurant, she said it's very hard.
Yeah, which I found actually so surprising because literally every restaurant we went in, anytime we get a tofu dish, you would get a full block of tofu. Like they were not at all stingy on the tofu. Like a lot of places at home or everywhere else, you think, oh, you get a few pieces of tofu and you wish that you had more in there for that extra bit of protein. But in Laos, you get a full block of tofu per serving.
Yeah,
I would say, like easily 400 grams of tofu, which should be an insane amount of. It's probably like 40 grams of protein.
Yeah.
So that's great, but it was just impossible to get in a supermarket for us to cook it.
Yeah, I think because we're including vegan options as a whole, I think it can remain affordable. But if we were doing a separate question for just finding it in supermarkets to cook at home, I would have to knock that down to like a 3.
Yeah, maybe even a 2.
Maybe even a 2. Yeah.
There's no I suppose there are quite a few plant milks. That's the only thing.
There was some plant milks, but you'd get vegetables which you'd have to go separately to market, but the protein was very difficult you had to get a bit creative.
Yeah.
But yeah. How tasty is the vegan food?
I'm gonna have to say 5.
Yeah, that's an easy one. Again, similar to Vietnam, it's great, the restaurants are great. You get all the flavors, you get the fun, different local meals. They're good at making most things at least vegetarian, and then all you have to do to make it vegan is take the fish sauce out or switch it to a different type of noodle.
Yeah, or eggs.
And take the eggs out, which are all very easy things to extract.
Yeah, I will just have to jump in there and say that fish isn't vegetarian.
No, fish isn't vegetarian, of course. But I mean, to make it vegan, they have a habit of putting fish sauce into meals.
Yeah.
Even when it's vegetarian.
Yeah, allegedly vegetarian.
Yeah, they tend to forget that fish sauce is bad, so that's just something to be aware of in all of Asia.
Yeah, for sure.
How affordable is the vegan food?
Yeah, so it's difficult when we've got Vietnam as a benchmark because that was insanely cheap.
That was insanely cheap.
Like, that could be a 10 out of 5.
I don't think you'll ever get it that cheap.
No. Not at all. Even if you grew it yourself, you couldn't do it that cheap.
No, you couldn't.
But I would still say that Laos is a 5 out of 5 on affordability for vegan food.
I think that's fair. Yeah, whilst Vietnam is cheaper, it is still crazy cheap here. And especially if you're coming from our side of the world, it's insanely cheap.
Mm.
You know, but what was interesting is all the blogs online and everything online said Laos was cheaper than Vietnam. I would disagree with that.
I totally disagree with that.
Laos is not cheaper than Vietnam. It's not much more expensive. It's not like a big difference, but it is more expensive for sure. From a food experiences, everything, it's more expensive.
Yeah, I think if you're looking at like street food is probably similar to Vietnam in terms of like you got those coconut pancakes for like 10,000, was it?
Yeah, which is like
34
30, 40p, yeah.
So that is, you know, probably on par with Vietnamese street food. But yeah, restaurant wise, I would say it's probably 50% more expensive than.
Yeah, about 40 to 50, yeah.
Yeah.
And the same with the experiences, like booking packages. That could even be, 50, even maybe 60% more.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I think that, strangely, I feel like American tourism seems to probably be higher here than it is in Laos. And they really value the US dollar here. You can pay for pretty much anything anywhere in US dollars. And a lot of hotels will tell you in dollars how much it is and want you to pay in dollars.
Yeah, I didn't get the why that was, because everyone wanted us to pay in US dollars. Then if we pay in their local currency, they screwed us on the conversion. So it was a really, and because it was a set conversion, you couldn't put a phone to them saying, hey, that's a rubbish conversion. Here it is. They go, sorry, this is just set to everywhere. So I don't get that.
No, I don't.
I don't get that.
Yeah.
So that was a bit of an annoyance. But what's one dish you must try in Laos?
And coconut pancakes.
Yeah, I think that's great. Whilst it's not like a main dish, I've enjoyed it every time.
And it's really easy to get vegan as well, which I've not asked for it from street vendors, but I'm sure they'd do it. But I had it in a cafe, and they said that they just made it out of rice flour, coconut milk, and sugar. So often on the street food vendors, they make it with egg as well. But it's really easy to get and make vegan, and it was delicious.
Yeah, it was delicious. I don't think we had, to be honest, when you go in between countries this close, it differs around the world, because obviously the French cuisine is very different to the English cuisine, and the Italian cuisine is very different to the French and the English cuisine. They're all very close together. But in some parts of the world, countries that are close together, I'll be honest, there's not a right lot of difference between the local food. Like for example, Singapore, that is just like a mix of Malaysian and Chinese.
Yeah.
Laos, it's just like, it feels very similar to Vietnam. But of course, they do have the local dishes, but a lot of the time they tend to be quite meaty. But I'll be honest, the local dishes, they're not going to taste wildly different to the neighbouring countries, at least for these current countries.
Yeah. What I would say though, on that note, although it's similar, I remember in Vietnam, some of the local dishes I can remember saying didn't like pack a punch in flavour.
No.
Whereas I feel like in Laos they do have a little bit more in that. You know, like I feel like, I don't know whether it's that they add more salt or something.
A lot of soy sauce.
Yeah, probably. To be fair, it is probably that. I think it's that there's a lot of soy sauce, so I feel like there's more flavour to the Lao versions of the same food that we've got in Vietnam.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. So that's why we're going for like a coconut pancakes, because I wouldn't say there was any notable meal that would say that's great. Coconut pancakes, just an easy treat to get. It's on all the markets. There's a bunch of stands and it's lovely. It's a nice little snack.
Yeah. Okay.
Restaurants you should check out. I would say we've got a number that we're going to recommend here, but I would say the number one would be the Grasshopper.
Yeah, the Grasshopper was great. We worked there on Fridays, and it's right next to a yoga studio. The staff were really, 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 really nice. Like,
yeah.
I mean, everyone in Laos was really nice, but they were like, I know, just super welcoming and like really friendly. And what I really appreciated was, because, when we're working through the day, I could struggle with decision fatigue. And I wanted a drink. And the guy, he looked at me looking for the menu, and he said, something to drink maybe? I was like, yes, please. And I was like looking, I was like, God. He's like, maybe a juice. I was like, yeah, juice. And then I was looking at the juice. He's like, how about orange and ginger? I was like, yes, thank you. It's just great. Like, took all of the problems out of and like, I was getting us some food to take away. And he said it comes with either chips or salad. Which would you like? I was getting like a burger for me and a panini for you. And he's like, it comes with chips or salad. Which would you like? I was like, It's like, how about one with salad and one with chips? I was like, yes, please. Thank you.
No, that is. I can't. You don't see that often. I think that is the one restaurant where someone has actively recommended like that. I don't think anyone uses that style, and I think it's really quite nice. It can also, some people may find it a little irritating, but I think if it's used gently, it works really well.
Yeah, no, and it was great. I think it could see that I was struggling. Like, you know, it's
Yeah.
taken a minute. I was like, I don't know. You know, like, you could see the struggle in me and helped, and I appreciated that.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed that as well.
And the food was great.
Food was great.
Get the Asian poke bowl. That's my recommendation.
Asian poke bowl. The ravioli is really nice. And if you go to the yoga studio next door, which is on, I believe, every day, you get 10% off your bill.
Yes.
At the Grasshopper, so it's nice. Other notable mentions, Happy Cat, which we went to on the first day. Completely vegetarian restaurant. Very aware of the vegan diet. Really good. Lots of nice food and meals. Another one, there's a fully vegan stall in the market, but I don't know what it's called. I'll try find a link to it. It might be a little bit difficult. But
I have that in Happy Cow.
Amazing. Okay, pros and cons. The pro, very flavorful. Very flavorful. You didn't have it, and I understand why. So very flavorful, really cheap, 50,000. It's a buffet, all you can eat. So you just fill it all up. It's like the cons is it's right next to a fish. I think it's the same people. They also sell on the other side fish.
Like grilled, it's like a full-on fish on a stick.
Fish on a stick. So it is completely vegan, that section. You know, always double check because they may change it. But it is vegan. But obviously that proximity, you know, it couldn't be any closer. I can understand that might put vegans off, maybe even vegetarians. The second one is, for me, the bigger issue is it's not warm. They don't keep it heated, so it's all just sat in trays. It is clean, and the reason I went back again is it was just the flavour was so good. Everything was so nice and flavourful. So if you want something quick, cheap, flavourful, and you don't mind the other two cons, then happy days. But if you're a bit worried about that, don't bother. But I just put it in there because I really enjoyed the flavour. Two of the places that aren't vegan or vegetarian, but they can do some is the Fatima. Is it called Fatima?
Yeah.
Fatima Indian and Malaysian halal restaurant. I had the best tofu korma there. It was amazing.
Yeah. I had one of my favourite dishes is sagaloo, or a lupulak, it's sometimes called, which is a potato and spinach dish, and it was 10/10. It was great. And I had a blueberry mojito as well. That was also phenomenal.
Yeah, it was, the Indian food there was excellent.
We got chatting to a couple on the next table briefly, and they said that the sunset there is great. So we didn't get there for sunset, but
the sunset's great wherever you bloody go.
That's true.
I'm sick of these travellers telling us the sunset's great. If you look at the review of anything you book to go see, a temple, something on a mountain, whatever, if you're going to any site, I guarantee you, if you look at the reviews, if you strike it right with sunset, it's just beautiful.
Well, the thing is, I don't think it's going to take some to beat our Yosemite sunsets.
Yeah, Yosemite sunset.
That drive.
I don't think it beats that. Or our Burning Man sunset. I don't think it beats that either. Finally, do you want to tell them about this one?
Yes, Il Travolo Luang Prabang was a really nice Italian restaurant on the corner just before you get down to the river. And it was great. It got all like the traditional gingham red and white tablecloths. You can practically hear the accordion Venetian band playing, and it felt like an Italian restaurant, and it was really lovely. We both got a pizza, which was great. They gave you scissors.
Yeah, that was awesome. They gave us scissors.
Nice and easy.
Never seen that before.
No, and don't be pretentious, people. You do not need I love a pizza slicer, but scissors do the job better.
Yeah, way better. Fucking pizza cutters are so annoying.
And you can't clean them. Like, they're really annoying to clean.
Annoying to clean. And if you put pressure, especially if the pizza's on a plate, you know what happens? You get to the end of the plate, the whole plate flips and the pizza goes. It's a nightmare. And you have to dig and dig and dig. Scissors, job done. So just accept it and use them at home as well.
Yeah. And we also had spaghetti aglio olio, which was spaghetti with olive oil, garlic and chilies. And that makes it easier as well with the scissors to cut your spaghetti.
Yeah, it was excellent.
Yeah, so that was lovely. Really enjoyed that.
Obviously, the marinara was the vegan one.
Yes.
And there's vegetarian pizza as well.
And right opposite, we went to a lovely bar with live music as well.
Right opposite. I think it's the second bar that's opposite it.
Yeah.
It was great. Okay, moving on to the travel segment. This is going to be our favourite and least favourite thing about Laos. We always like to start off with the least, so then we can finish with a positive. What would be your least favourite, my darling?
The bugs. There is no doubt in my mind that this is the buggiest place I've been.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it's like we saw a fair few in Vietnam. Like, we had like a terrorist cockroach in our apartment in Amber.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe you used that word.
But it terrorized us.
Yeah, it was honestly, we're not dramatizing this. It knew it was in a fight with us.
It bullied it. It stood next to a spotlight, so its shadow was cast like 10 feet tall on the wall. Like, it knew that It knew we weren't going to kill it. Well, it knew I wasn't going to kill it anyway. Scott's looking like I'd have killed it.
I was ready. But no, it was in the shadows almost, and it was rubbing its feet together, and it was taunting us. It was like popping out of every like hole and just like go, oh, gonna jump on you now. I'm gonna jump off. Oh, I'm gonna go jump on your bottles now. You're trying to use it. Like, it was taunting us, and you couldn't catch it for anything. I found out that they can go from 0. They can go up to 200 miles per hour.
See, and that is horrendous. That's horrendous knowledge.
200. And I saw it because I wondered this, because I went to catch it. It was right there. I put something over it because I wanted to get rid of it. I put it, I'm not joking, once that hit the kitchen surface, I'm not joking, he was down the cupboard and on the other side under the fridge in the same time I'd hit the surface.
Yeah.
It was insane.
It's like teleportation. Like,
yeah.
They are that fast.
They are so quick. You can't catch them. You've just got to get them out. And this one flew, which was when he brought out the wings, then it was game over. We both went running, screaming. Like, I wish it was recorded. We both just ran screaming.
The downstairs neighbours must have been like, what is happening?
But we eventually got it out.
We did, thank God. But that was in Vietnam.
Yeah.
We have seen, funnily enough, we've seen one cockroach just in where we are now in Vientiane. But yeah, there's so many, but like the Airbnb we were in, full of ants, absolutely chocker, like everywhere, in the shower, just everywhere, all over the microwave, all over the sponge. You dropped, the condensation off of your glass of juice, one drop on the counter, it'd be covered in ants, like so many ants, termites. I walked face first into a cobweb, which is the scariest thing.
You had a big spider crawl right up into your hair. It was determined to get into your hair.
I would have shaved my head. I would have shaved it.
You know I want you to shave half of your head.
You would have shaved all of it.
No.
So, yeah, definitely the buggiest place we've been, and I don't think I'm a princess about it either. Like, I don't like
You're not a princess about it, because if you were a princess about it, you wouldn't be here. You would have got the first plane out.
I think that for some people, I do think it will be too much.
Yeah.
If you're listening and you know that you're someone that can't, like, if you can't sleep if there's a spider in your house, do not come to Laos.
No.
I can't. Like, you just, you couldn't. Like, they're everywhere, absolutely everywhere. And I love lizards, and I don't mind them one bit in the apartment. But if you're someone who doesn't like lizards, you're not going to like that. No,
and you will find a lot of lizards throughout Asia, but you've got to remember, Laos is in the jungle. It's not. Yes, maybe the capital is a bit easier, but if you want to truly experience Laos, you want to get to Luang Prabang and other places, it is in the jungle. If you zoom out, there's a small village, small town, and then it's just miles and miles of jungle. So all they've done is they've built out a settlement within the jungle. They would have built it over ant nests, they would have built it over spider nests, snake nests, they would have built it over all of that, and naturally these things are still here, and it would have disrupted them, and now they're in your houses. So you're going to see them. You have to accept. Yeah, so absolutely, if you're not into that, don't do it.
Yeah. So what's Charlie's favourite thing about that?
I was struggling this, but I'm going to stick with one, because I like to be a bit more I don't like to repeat things with countries, but I'd say the Airbnbs, not just specifically ours was a nightmare, but it was really difficult to find an Airbnb or an accommodation service. Of course, you'll know by now, we don't like being in hotels because it's an extensive time. Being in one room it's torture. Even if we didn't work, it's torture to just be sat in one room for 3 weeks to a month. And also working is impossible. Then the other scale of that is the worst, the hostels. We're not about that life anymore. We're in one right now, and I already don't like it. This is actually the only hostel we've booked in our entire 2 years of traveling together, just because we're only going to be here for like 2 days, and it was cheap. And it's actually all right. It's just...
You've got a private room as well.
We've got a private room, but I
Hostel
just
room.
detest hostels these days. So we always go for the middle, that Airbnb, so we have that flexibility, cooking space, etc. But they were just so hard to find, like just an apartment. There was just nothing good on offer. And obviously we went with what looked like the best, and it was maybe the worst.
That could have been also because we booked it like the day before travel or 2 days before travel. So like, if you're looking...
Don't tell them that.
Come on.
It completely breaks down my con of Lao now.
Even if we looked for like, because when we arrived at that Airbnb and realised that it was quite difficult, I did start looking at, the later weeks, and there still wasn't anything. So
there we go. There are some lovely hotels. And lots of hostels, but we obviously didn't book that for the former. Other annoying ones was, the cash. The notes are a nightmare. They all look the same. That's kind of the standard annoyance with a lot of countries, but I'll stick with my Airbnbs as least favourite.
Okay.
What's your favourite, my darling?
My favourite thing about Laos is how... it's also just how good it is.
It's so good.
It is. It's very... And I think the fact that it kind of took me by surprise as well, because it wasn't really somewhere that was particularly on my radar. Like, I was, open to coming here as much as I was open to going anywhere. But I didn't really know much about it or have like I've got to go there because of X, Y, Z or whatever. But since we've got here, and I was worried at first because the airport was quite awkward and difficult, and, the whole process of getting in. I usually say the experience in the airport is kind of indicative of how easy it's going to be in the country. So like, if it's an awkward immigration, like getting through customs and stuff, then it's going to be awkward in general. But that's not been the case here. Like it's been so easy, everything. Like anything you want, you can just do. Like, if you want to go to the waterfall for the day, just step outside, chat to a driver, you're there. Like if you want to, you're going to go and weave bamboo placemats in a national park, easy, just get up there. Like, everything's very easy and achievable. There's lots to do. You don't have to... There's been no rush to anything.
No.
Like, we've been able to do absolutely everything on our own schedule. Like, the day that we decided to go to the waterfall, we got up probably a bit later than planned, but we just did it. Like, we literally stepped outside, chatted to a guy with a tuk-tuk who happened to... it was his sister that owned the restaurant up at the waterfall.
Yeah, that was so cool how that worked out.
Yeah, and then when it was time for us to go, I was like, oh yeah, by the way, my daughter's here, and I've just picked them up, so we're going back down. Like, it's a real, like, community feel. It's a very local feel. It's very welcoming. Just a really all-round positive experience. I don't know if that really, if I can count that as what's my favourite thing about Laos, but that just, the whole experience of it being good.
It is. We weren't short of things to do. It was really fun. And I would say things were fulfilling. You weren't just feeling like you were dragging yourself around just to see tourist attractions for the sake of it. Like, there were things that felt fulfilling. There were things that were physically, good for the body that, still anyone could do, but still, it allowed you to challenge yourself a bit, fitness, which always feels good. So it was a healthy and enjoyable, and everyone's super welcoming. Everyone's going to help you. I think, everyone's going to help you out. So it is a community feel. My favorite would be how exotic it is, in relation to like the nature, just the beauty of it all. I'm a big hiker, runner. I love going on the trails. I love being amongst nature and feeling it. And Laos provided that in absolute waves. Outside of like Yosemite, well, from a country point of view, this country has provided the most nature and beauty to me out of any country I've been to. It was unbelievable, and I would 100% come back here to do like a full-on week hike or expedition. I think it'd be a really, really great place to do like a big expedition. If you want to really feel like you're off the beaten track, jungle hiking is a completely different experience. Like there's different types of hiking. You know, there's the standard alpine hiking, which is big throughout Europe and the US. There's the sort of wet moors of like the Lake District and you know, in the UK. And then there's the jungle hiking. And obviously you could think of like snow hiking and stuff, which I'm less into. But the jungle was something different for me. I'd never experienced that. And it felt so exotic. Like you only had to go away from the roads for like, if you walked up into the jungle only 5 minutes away from the main road, you felt like you were in the middle of nowhere. No one, you're uncontactable. You are absolutely in it. There's insects everywhere. There's everything you see. So I saw scorpions, centipedes, really bizarre caterpillars, this really strange flying insect. I don't know what it was, but it looked insane. It looked like an alien. Create loads and loads of spiders. Heads up, lots of spiders, big spiders. And the bamboo trees are unreal. They grow really big and they grow in really unique ways. Yeah, it's just, I think it's a naturist dream to be here. And, you know, if you feel like you're sort of on the beginning of that journey, then you can go to like the national parks, like the Nam Song Park, I believe it was. There's another one called Green Jungle Park. But from what I've heard, Nam Song is much better, which we went to as well. And you could, you know, do as much of that as you wish. You know, there's no pressure. You know, that would be probably a good starting point to get a feel if you like the jungle. But yeah, I love it. Absolutely. This is honestly going down as top 3. I don't know where I'd number it. I've got to think of that. But for sure, out of all the countries I've been to, it's going to go in my top 3 of enjoyments in countries.
That's really good to hear. And it was like, it nearly didn't happen. We nearly didn't come to Laos. So I'm really glad we came. Definitely would come back.
Definitely. And that means that how would we rate the place?
Oh, it's got to be a 5, hasn't it?
It's hundo. A big 5 on rating the place a Lao. The only caveat, like we've mentioned, if you don't like bugs, if you don't like humid weather, if you don't like the power going out sometimes, then that would be the caveat to if it's going to be a 5 for you. If you can accept all those things as a part of the experience, then it's going to be a big 5 for you.
I think the fact that those exist and we'd still call it a 5 means it is undeniably a 5.
Strong argument. Yeah, I would agree. What's something you need to know before you go? Bugs.
Yeah.
No,
bugs.
But honestly, other things.
Having US dollars is really handy, but I have learned that they need to be crisp, like practically new US dollars. They won't accept
What?
Yeah, if they're crumpled or they won't accept them. And
I didn't know that.
That's not like Lao people, that's the banks won't accept. So that's why they won't accept it.
Why? That's so strange.
I don't know.
They're so obsessed with US dollars, but now they want pristine. Most US dollars are going to be quite crumpled, like notes naturally they wear and tear, don't they?
Yeah, but yesterday we got a 500 Lao kip bill that looks like something off a Monopoly board. It is fresh off the printer. It
looks so fake.
It's definitely fake.
We've even got a fake, and we've never handled the 500 because that'll be, I don't even know what that'll be.
3 pence, maybe?
And I don't think it'll even be that.
So
I think it could be like half a penny or so.
Oh yeah, because 100,000's £3.40, 10,000's 34 pence, 1,000 is 3.5 pence. So 500 must be like 1.5 pennies.
Yeah, it's less than it's. Oh my god!
So it's like a fifth, not even a fifth of a penny.
Not even a fifth of a penny.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah, no, nearly 2 pence. I don't know. I can't figure that out.
I can't figure that out. It's basically, it's pointless.
Yeah.
So yes, that's what you should know. And also the visa process, it's better to just have $60 ready to go. Sorry, no. How much is it for one person? $42 to pay for your visa on arrival. Either do it online, get it over and done with, or just bring $42. Otherwise, you get screwed with the conversion.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, our final big question in the travel segment is overall, would we recommend it?
100% yes.
100% yes. So there we go. We've had a very extended episode, but I think this is a nice love note to Laos.
Yeah.
And I think anyone who's, looking to travel, this is definitely one they should listen to. As always, please do subscribe. We really appreciate it. Wherever you are, like, share, rate us is a big one. It takes 5-7 seconds and it really, really, really helps us out. It really does.
Let's come check us out on TikTok as well.
Yes, please do. Another adventure wrapped up.
But the journey never ends.
Keep your bags packed for the next one. And remember, when in doubt, just say, Yalla Habibi. See you next time.